Hey everyone, we're back for part two of yoga. I had to cut the last video. I have to edit it a little bit because I spilled my coffee, which you knew was coming because it was right next to my foot. So we're going to actually move into balance. So we did we actually did our balancing. We're moving to inversion. So we're going to do a headstand practice, but not against a wall, and we're not going to kick up. So we're actually just practicing. We're practicing towards being able to lift up into a headstand. I'm going to try to explain it, and I'm going to try to demo it. But as you can tell, the light in here is coming in from all sides, and my house is super messy. This is not a cute yoga video, it's just practical. So, okay, so what we're going to do is preparation for headstand first. I'm going to explain it, and then I'm going to try to demo it. And if we're not lifting up today, then we're just going to practice that prep for 50 breaths, 50. And that will build strength in the arms and the shoulders and the back, and start to train you to release the neck, and train you to not put pressure on the head itself. So those are key elements for eventually moving into a headstand, okay? So here's the earliest steps. We'll try to, hopefully this will work out. I'm gonna move my mat back a little bit. So what we're going to do in the beginning for my hands and knees pose is keep our palms underneath our shoulders, knees under hips. Then we're going to come down where our hands were. We're going to bring the middle of our forearms. So now our elbows are beneath our shoulders, okay? Then we're going to grab opposite shoulder, We're not grabbing opposite elbow because then they kind of splay apart a little too wide. If we grab opposite shoulders, we have to bring those elbows in even a little more narrow than they would normally be. And that's good because when you come up, the elbows automatically roll out a little bit. So if they're a little closer than you think they might be, that's even better. Then we're going to take the top of the head down into that space in between the forearms. And for every person, so there's two important things to tell you right now. The first is that when we interlace our fingers, we're going to take that bottom pinky finger and we're going to pull it inside. So now it's the bottom pinky is hiding out in the house. The reason why is that if we do put pressure and roll, that bottom pinky is kinked out. So when we pull it in, the roll happens, then the two pinkies are in front of each other. So whatever the bottom pinky is gets pulled in, and then that bottom pinky, if you do roll, you won't hurt yourself. The second thing is that when you take the top of your head down, for some people it's the hairline, for some people it's really the top of the head, and for some people it's somewhere halfway in between. And what it depends on, weirdly, is what your skull is shaped like. So you have to find out what the real balance, how it feels to you. And then what we're going to do is, rather than kick up or jump up, we're going to work on lifting our knees towards our chest and eventually lifting the feet off the ground. It's just like in crow pose. When you take the chest so far forward, the feet sort of naturally lift. That's what headstand is like. We're going to try to get that top part of the body, the torso part of the body, so aligned that the feet can just kind of float forward off. And then we'll stay in that knees to chest position. So it looks like this. First we measure. Then we take our head down. Then we try to walk those feet forward. Now if this is where we're staying, we just stay here the whole time. Otherwise we're going to try to float forward and then try to lift and lift. Okay? So we stay here, or we don't straighten our legs fully. We keep the legs bent and we lift the knees up. Then we can stay here, or we lift the feet up into the headstand. We come out of it the same way. heels to glute, knees down, and then low. Okay, could you see that? That's version number 1. No, that's the first 3 steps. So either you're just doing the prep and your feet stay on the ground the whole time, or you bring the knees in and just hang out there. That's step number 2. And then the final is a headstand, lifting up. We're not using a wall, we're not kicking up, we're not jumping up, we're just lifting. So that's the first way of getting up into headstand. The better way, and the way that I want you to try, once you are able to do an actual headstand for a while, is just lifting the legs up into headstand and using the core to do it. So from that first inverted position, you're just going to lift one leg up as high as you can and work on opening that hip. So you even bend the knee and take the foot back, and then the other foot just lifts up into headstand because the balance is there to the degree that it needs to be. Okay, so I'm just going to show you. So this is what I mean. We're going to be here, here, then this foot comes forward, this foot goes up, back, and then lift. See? Just up, back, lift. Okay? Then you can do stag, Baddha Konasana, twist it around, straighten the leg, or lift it, regular. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to come into headstand without jumping, without using the wall. We're just lifting and concentrating on the balance. Okay, so go ahead and try that now. I suggest building up eventually, once you really feel like there's no pressure at all in the neck, building up to 2 minutes, or building up to 50 breaths, 50-5-0. Slowly, it comes. And if you're not at the headstand yet, if you practice every day, or every other day, or once a week, eventually your body comes to know it, and it will come quite easily. In fact, it's a natural, once you really get the hips over the shoulders, and there's very little weight left, as long as the tripod is firm at the bottom, the legs can go wherever. I mean, you saw mine were one way or the other, on the sides. It's that lower part of the body that gives the support. Okay? So I want to hear about your experiences with headstand as well. Oh, part 3 of yoga video to come.